In today's video, we're going to consider the neurotransmitter called GABA, Gamma-Aminobutyric Acid. Here is the description. So it plays a significant role in addiction by regulating neurotransmission and maintaining balance in the brain's reward pathways. So GABA is a very relaxing neurotransmitter. It's important that it's balanced with all the other ones. Let's look some more. So, a brain with low levels of GABA may become more reliant on dopamine for regulating mood and behavior. So, if you're not able to relax, if you're constantly hypervigilant, constantly worrying and stressing and feeling guilty about something, your GABA is going to be off. You're not going to be able to chill. You're going to need more alcohol. You're going to need more of these constant dopamine hits. It's like an addicted person. They just can't sleep or chill out. They just have to get that next high. And of course, this is compounds because it leads to increased stress and anxiety. So the more off balance you get, the more stress and anxiety you have, the more you need the constant dopamine hits. So dog ownership can increase dopamine levels. This is often touted as some type of depression relief and stress relief, but it's only relieving the stress that you have built up from worrying about your dog, wanting that next dopamine hit. And as it says here, this is not a constant supply. You get a temporary boost in dopamine or other feel good hormones. So you post a picture of the dog on Facebook, you get a few likes, but then you got to feed the dog, walk the dog, spend more money on the dog, giving all of your attention, all of your thought processes to how's the dog doing? Am I going to get on home on time? All of that stuff. As we know, owning a dog is a considerable stress, it's considerable expense. So dopamine itself can inhibit the GABA neurons. So the more that you're just utilizing this quick dopamine hit of the dog, if that seems confusing to you, think about people that constantly have to have their phone. You can't go anywhere with them without them constantly needing to look at the phone, look at the phone. It's a dopamine source. It's a quick dopamine source. It's like if they don't know where their phone is at any given time, they're going to be stressed out. And all of this activity, it leads to a decrease in GABA. So the more addicted that you are, the more your neurotransmitters start to support this addiction. And dopamine has opposing effects on GABA. So it's preventing you from chilling out, it's preventing you from relaxing, basically. And so just something we have to do is remember stuff about dog ownership. They struggle to afford the cost of their dog, unable to pay for their pet's needs. Dog owners will even admit that they'll skip a meal or not pay a bill. I'll never let my dog know suffering. Yeah. But dog owners are just always going through this type of stress and this type of lifestyle. And an addicted brain continues to seek out the dopamine source even when it leads to negative outcomes. It's like people that live with 5 or 6 dogs and a couple of their dogs attack each other, and then there's vet bills, the carpet is ruined, somebody got bit on the arm, the dog ran away and got run over, hoarding situations going on everywhere, but they won't quit owning dogs. They won't quit owning dogs because the dog is a dopamine source. So as you can see, this is a lot like an addiction. So many dog owners live like this. More and more and more dogs, more hoarding situations, another attack. And somehow, they have to keep going for the dopamine source, the dog. Yeah. So low GABA levels can lead to increased anxiety and craving for substances that stimulate dopamine. But it's not just the substance, it's the activity. It's like how smokers, when they quit smoking, they want to have something in their hand or in their mouth all the time. It's very similar with dog owners. They get used to just being constantly distracted, constantly having that dog around because it gives them their dopamine. Sure, the coffee table's ruined, the front door is busted up, there's a hole in the backyard, you lost your rental deposit, but you're going to keep on doing it. You're going to keep on doing this activity that kills your GABA and overcranks your dopamine. Yeah, this imbalance can make individuals more susceptible to addiction. Yeah, let's look at some more stuff about GABA. So, another thing about this is your gut microbiome. So, as it says here in the blue highlight, the gut brain axis suggesting that an imbalance in the gut microbiome can influence neurotransmitter levels. So, dog owners, they will put the meals and the nutrition of their dogs first. So, that's going to affect their gut microbiome if they're not eating good. And another thing that affects the gut microbiome is many of the behaviors associated with dog ownership. Now, they say that breathing pet dander is going to boost your immune system. That's not completely true. All of that stuff, the dead proteins that is going into your belly, they think, or they will tell us, studies that are, of course, funded by big dog culture corporations. They'll tell us that, oh, your gut bacteria is going to be helped by all this exposure to dogs. That's only like in an acute setting, like exposing yourself at a farm could help your immune system. Your immune system constantly being hammered with all this stuff is not good for your gut bacteria. So again, just another hit on GABA from dog ownership. And another thing, stress. Stress can disrupt the gut bacteria. So you own a dog, you're constantly stressed about your dog adds stress to your life. Many studies have shown that dogs cause several arguments in their lifetime between family members. And then you have, of course, you have the stress of lost dogs, missing dogs, sick dogs, vet bills, everything. Everything about dog ownership is stress. And that affects your gut bacteria and it affects GABA, the chill neurotransmitter that keeps you from becoming addicted to a dopamine source, your dog. Yeah. So now let's look up another hit on our GABA from dog ownership. So some of the most common medications include anti-inflammatory drugs. These are the ones that we give to our dogs. Tramadol. There are so many different ones. But I just wanted to show you that the most common ones are the anti-inflammatory drugs. And these drugs, they affect the gut microbiome. Oh, well, I'm not taking them, so I'm fine. Well, you're sleeping with your dog, you're giving your dog puppy kisses, you're consuming your dog's dander, you're consuming your dog's urine and feces particles, you're rubbing on your dog's hair all the time. Your skin is your epidermis, it's an epithelium layer. You can absorb all that stuff from your dog. And as we already know as a society, pet medications can shed off into the environment, particularly through excretion or when washed off during baths. You know, this leads to, this stuff is everywhere. All these pharmaceuticals that we're pumping into our dogs, they're going right out into our water source, our air source, our little fibers coming out of the back of our dryer vents. So an important thing about GABA in the brain, I wanted to show you this. It's an effect on spatial memory. So that's like you're aware of your surroundings. And this makes me think of dog owners and dogs. They're not aware of their surroundings. A dog will just bark at any old stupid thing all freaking day. A dog owner is not aware of their surroundings. They want their dog to get up in your face, go to their house. The dog has to jump up in between. And when you have a GABA dysfunction, your spatial memory is messed up. And dog ownership comes with a hit to your GABA. In this study that I'm showing you is fipronil. It's a pesticide of a second generation that causes toxic effects in target and non-target organisms. So fipronil, like those other medications that I was talking to you about, dogs use this for fleas and ticks. It's one of the most common ones. And what it does is it screws up the GABA and other neurotransmitters in the fleas and ticks, so they become hyperactive and then they die. So we are also getting this fipronil, this toxic fipronil that provokes neurotoxicity. Yep. And guess who has already proven this to us? This has already been proven to us. Everything that I'm telling you has already been proven to us. Nature tried to give us a message. See these birds? When they get dog hair in their nest, they have a low birth rate or their babies die. It's because that nasty stuff from the pesticides is getting onto their babies. Yep. So here's a pair of blue tits right here. Look at them. They're probably saying like, "Hey, did you hear about that nasty stuff in our nest?" Yeah, I heard about it. Well, there you go. So let's go back to this study. So spatial memory. Spatial memory is damaged when we don't have enough GABA. But notice what spatial memory is. It's representations of the physical environment in your brain. Your hippocampus, your temporal lobes, these all play a key role in episodic memory. Read this part right here. Episodic memory. That is another thing with the dog culture. If you watch the I Hate Dogs channel, they constantly talk about why are dog owners so stupid. Another piece of furniture ruined. They adopt 2 more dogs and they're broke. Another toddler killed. Another toddler killed. Another toddler killed. UPS driver killed. Why are these people so stupid? Well, episodic memory. They literally have not stored that nasty stuff in their memory. They've stored it through this hyperactivity, dopamine saturated brain. So when you talk to them about anything bad that happened with dogs, their episodic memory is always just not right. A dog completely maims somebody to death, and then they'll say, "Oh, they experienced a dog attack, and we hope they're recovering." They're dead in the hospital getting their organs donated, and people will be talking like that about dog attacks. So yeah, episodic memory. Look around and listen to dog people. They're constantly putting themselves in nasty situations, and their episodic memory is not working. And so this whole thing about GABA really makes sense. Dog owners are running around participating in addictive activities that hurt their GABA, the stress of dog ownership, plus the pharmaceuticals that come off of dogs and get into our body directly affect our GABA. And we already know about it. Those nasty ingredients in those flea and tick medications, they're also linked to strokes in dogs. They're linked to low acetylcholine levels and a bunch of other things. Yep. So there you go. That's been our look at GABA. And if you want to know more, just study up on these birds and what happens to them when they nest with dog hair. See you guys later.